희망을 버리지 마. 잘하면 살 수도 있잖아.
Aloha. This is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man. And this weekend, opening weekend of the fabulous South Korean movie called The Killer, I went ahead and I saw it. Now, this stars and is fight choreographed by Jung Hyuk, a fabulous action star that I look forward to seeing very, very many more films by him. And especially even a sequel to The Killer. Now remember our rating scale, shock a thumbs up, it's good to see, I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down, it's junk, I don't recommend it. And for The Killer 2022, just so that if you're doing any searches for it streaming or whatever, make sure you put in The Killer and then parentheses, the year 2022, because there are many, many films out there that have the name The Killer, unfortunately. But I think this is by far probably the best movie. Now this is a straight up original film, despite many other Asian movies having the name The Killer, even some, American films called The Killer. This South Korean movie, The Killer, is a strong shock a thumbs up. Let me tell you, this is an action-packed, fiasco in the best way possible. I guess the only way that I could really describe this to you, the short little trailer that they put out really doesn't do it justice. There is so much action, suspense, drama in this movie, but especially action, that you won't go wrong seeing it. Even if, it is South Korean, so they are speaking Korean, it is subtitled film, but, if you love action, you won't mind, because you don't even need to be listening to what they're saying, because everything is just so perfectly choreographed. The fight scenes and everything are just out of this world. Think John Wick mixed with The Transporter #1, with a little piece of Taken thrown in there, along with just a little touch of Old Boy, and you will get The Killer. Essentially an ultra talented assassin is convinced by his wife to watch her friends, her girlfriend's teenage daughter, well, the two of them go on vacation for a couple of weeks. Now very reluctantly he decides to do so, but because of the love that he has for his wife, he does so. But we can tell right off the bat that he is a very private, very wealthy individual, not knowing exactly what he does, although I'm sure his wife does. His only task is to watch her and make sure that she's all right, and that, his wife will be calling and checking in to make sure that she's okay. Her friend's daughter. So that's his job, to become babysitter for the next few weeks while his wife and her friend is on vacation. Kind of a girl's vacation, I guess. And let me just tell you, as soon as they leave town, this teenage girl, he picks her up at school, along with a friend, and right away they have plans like, oh, we got to go out, we want to do this and that. And it's like, oh, okay, whatever. It's like, oh, can I spend the night over at my friend's place? The girl that he picks up with his wife's friend's young daughter, teenage daughter. He gives her some money. Here's some spending money for the weekend. Go enjoy. Just give me a call if you need anything or anything happens, right? And, well, guess what? Something happens. The girl is kidnapped, abducted by sex traffickers, and boom, just like that, Zhang Hyuk's character has to move into action. And immediately, he, having planted a location chip on her prior to letting her go stay with her friends, he shows up over there unannounced to the abductors, who seem to be just a bunch of fellow teenage school bullies, basically harassing her. And he confronts them. They attack him with knives. He knocks them all out. So right away you can see he's got incredible skills. Punches this other girl who seems to be their ringleader in the eye, knocking her out. Later, as she attempts to frame some murders on him, he reveals that it's like, hey, I hit you in the eye. You're never going to see again out of that eye. And she's like, what? Thinking, oh, it's just bruised. It's got to heal. I can't see for now, but as soon as it heals up. No, he blinded her. It's crazy. Crazy. And we soon find that these kids were working with these other abductors. Quite, abductors such as like the Russian mafia. And so all heck breaks loose as the Russian mafia, working with South Korean political figures. He very soon finds this scandal taking place. And despite the fact that he's not hired to investigate or take out these individuals, to him, it's a matter of principle and honor to stop these abductions from taking place. Not only rescuing, the daughter of his wife's friend. And in doing so, you learn a lot about him, his motivations, and that he's not simply a cold-blooded murderer. Oh, he's definitely a cold-blooded killer. Very skilled, in fact, a great assassin. And we find out that's how he's gotten his wealth. But that, it is this principle, this code of ethics, this honor that he has that keeps him fairly on the straight and narrow. Although he does delve into these crimes. But he seems to, definitely have his right motivations with him. Very much like a John Wick or John Statham as the transporter. There are rules that he follows and that he doesn't break his rules. But if somebody else breaks his rules, boom, it's all over. So yes, shaka thumbs up all the way for The Killer. I'm not going to spoil it to you. Lots of super duper heavy action, everything from gunplay to martial arts to knives, axes, you name it, it's all here. And it's beautifully set. I think probably around the Busan area. I'm not exactly 100% sure where in South Korea it takes place. But something like that, I think, near to a big port, as that is how they're smuggling in these girls or smuggling out these girls. And we find out that they're smuggling in Russian girls and trading off South Korean girls to Russia or throughout the world, etc. As these smugglers, these sex traffickers are catering to all tastes and all interests. And it comes the mission of The Killer to, as the poster says, save the girl, but also destroy this organization. And he does so lethally and beautifully, as only a South Korean movie can do it. All right. So again, shock a thumbs up for The Killer. Go ahead and check it out wherever, however you can. This is right now is only playing over at the Dole Theater. Hopefully it goes into more of a wide release, but being a foreign South Korean movie, probably only over at the Kahala, maybe over at the Ward Warehouse Consolidated Theater as well, along with Dole. But if you have the chance to see it, and definitely put it in your queue later on in your mind to watch it streaming, if it should ever come out there, or video on demand, and you won't be sorry. All right. Mahalo and aloha.